Hey guys, how you doing? It's the Do Carpenter. Um, I'm back to the drawing board again. I'm just going to take a quick look. I got a lot of responses on the last video I did on the roofing system and what I chose to do with it. And I really think this is important, and that's why I'm mentioning it. A lot of people I caused a little bit of confusion with the way I did things, so I'm going to just blow this up a little bit and roll it around and maybe drag it over. But on the gable end, a little smaller, there we go. On the gable end, you see the metal stud around the outside and the pockets. I actually put a stud from the bottom of the pocket down to the bottom part of the form right in this area. And a lot of people were concerned of that. Some people thought I was putting it there as a post for some kind of support mechanism, and that's just not the case at all. Once I got this all put together, this span right here that goes 12 feet, I was worried that when I lay it flat and put the mesh in it and whatnot, and then pour it, that this would try and belly out down this way, and that this would flex and kind of arc a little bit like that. And so I put a post there and just tack welded it in so that we wouldn't be bridging such a far point. It'd only be bridging 6 feet and it wouldn't flex out. There has been just a slight deflection, even for me spanning 7.5 feet, where it would deflect out maybe a 1/16 of an inch or so. But spanning 12 feet, I put my finger on it and just kind of pulled on it a little, and I just thought it was too much. So that being said, I am going to go pop into another screen here real quick. And I got these two, I got these two, where are they? I got two replies that I just thought were just like, oh, hello. And right here, Dale Whitaker said, have you thought about a stud punching tool to punch some holes in the intermediate member to keep from having a continuous joint at the metal cross members? Just a thought. And then Redefined Living said, the reinforcement pick you installed from the ridge to the brace will make it 2-piece instead of 1 after you place the aircrete in the form. If you take a grinder and cut out some holes in the middle, then the left side and the right side will be connected. Does that make sense? And when I read these two comments, it was like a light bulb moment. And yes, Redefine Living, it absolutely makes 1,000% sense. So when you that center vein, I am basically just going to leave the stiffener ridges on the outside, and I'm going to cut the whole center out of it. And I'm going to do you one better and run a continuous mesh all the way through it. So it's similar to the wall panels as well in that regard. And as for the people that I confused who were thinking I was putting in some kind of support post, and they were thinking I should do it back-to-back I-beams and make an I-beam out of it, that stuff is really weak, flimsy sheet metal. That was not my intention at all. I'm not worried about the compressive strength at all of the aircrete from this point to this point. It's going to be this thing. I even had a viewer that was concerned that the corners would be bearing too much weight, and I think they were thinking it was bridging across in the center, which it's not, because obviously I'm going to run beams across here, and I'm not going to put the center one in, because it's only spanning 15 feet. So the corners are going to be completely supported over here, and the whole bottom is going to be completely supported. And if you had any concern at all of compression strength of the aircrete, go back and watch my flex test video, because that was a good example of how good of a compression that it has. And that being said, basically, here, let me pull this over, and we'll look at a panel that's sitting horizontally. So this panel sitting horizontally, I put bricks under both sides, 7.5 feet apart, and I loaded it with almost 500 pounds right in the center, going down on it. Essentially what that is doing, because we have the fabric mesh and the reinforcement just along the bottom side of that panel, is that changes the fulcrum point to where that mesh is, and all this in the center when it flexed, and there was about a 1/2 inch deflection when I put that 480 pounds on it, where this panel bowed and flexed about a 1/2 inch. But basically what that does is compress all this aircrete right here in the center, and it compressed just fine. It didn't break, and so I'm happy with the compression strength of the aircrete. I'm not concerned at all with this part crushing from the weight of anything put on it. First of all, it's pushing, you know, from a structural engineering standpoint, it's pushing down at a 45-degree angle, so all that weight is going to be spread over a huge amount of area here. But that being said, let's get to it. This would have been a lot easier if I had done this when this thing wasn't welded to it. Okay guys, there we go. It's all cut out now. I got that ridge, that rib in the middle that was separating these two sides of this panel cut out. So then now it's going to be one solid piece, and I think we're good to go. So if you like what we're doing, go ahead, like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and be sure and click the bell at the bottom. If you want to follow along with these aircrete projects, go to our Etsy store. I'm at the Do Carpenter shop on Etsy. And also you can just go to my website, which is honeydew-carpentershop.com, and go into my store on my website. Either way will work, and we'll get you a foam mate sent out so that you can start making some aircrete yourself. And cheers. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.